How to handle being stood up on a date. Being stood up on a date can be a deeply unpleasant experience. It can stir feelings of rejection, disappointment, and embarrassment, especially if expectations were high. However, while the situation can be challenging, handling it gracefully and with self-respect can make all the difference. This article offers strategies to cope with being stood up and suggests ways to turn the experience into something positive. 1. Acknowledge your emotions. It's completely normal to feel hurt or frustrated after being stood up. Allow yourself to acknowledge these emotions instead of suppressing them. Whether it's sadness, anger, or confusion, giving yourself permission to feel will help you process the situation in a healthy way. Journaling your thoughts or talking with a trusted friend can offer an emotional outlet. 2. Don't jump to conclusions. Before reacting, it's important to consider the possibility that your date may have had a valid reason for not showing up. They could have faced an emergency or miscommunication. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, at least initially, can prevent unnecessary conflict and help maintain composure. You could send a short, polite message like, "Hey, I waited for a bit. Hope everything's okay. Let me know if something came up." 3. Avoid self-blame. Being stood up is not a reflection of your worth or desirability. It can happen to anyone, and it often says more about the other person's behavior than about you. Refrain from overanalyzing what you might have done wrong. Remember, everyone deserves respect, and being stood up reflects poorly on the person who failed to show, not on you. 4. Make the most of your time. Instead of heading home immediately, try to make the most of the time you had set aside for the date. You could treat yourself to a solo meal, watch a movie, or explore nearby attractions. Turning an unfortunate situation into an opportunity for self-care can make you feel empowered rather than defeated. 5. Reach out to friends. Spending time with friends after being stood up can be an excellent way to boost your mood. If you're feeling down, inviting a friend to join you for a spontaneous hangout can quickly turn things around. Sharing the story with someone you trust might even help you see the humor in the situation. 6. Set boundaries with the person who stood you up. If the person who stood you up eventually contacts you, it's important to set clear boundaries. Decide whether you're open to hearing their explanation or if you prefer to move on without engaging further. If they have a valid reason and you feel comfortable, you might consider giving them another chance. However, if their behavior was inconsiderate, it's perfectly fine to let them know that it didn't meet your expectations. 7. Learn and reflect. Every experience, even disappointing ones, offers a chance to learn. Take a moment to reflect on the situation. Was there anything that felt off before the date? Were there any red flags you might have overlooked? Use the experience to refine your instincts and approach future relationships with greater clarity. 8. Focus on self-respect. Being stood up can be demoralizing, but it's crucial to maintain your self-respect. Treat yourself with kindness and recognize that it's okay to walk away from people who don't treat you well. Your time and energy are valuable, and the right person will appreciate them. 9. Consider moving forward. If you decide to give the person a second chance, ensure that their behavior aligns with your expectations moving forward. However, it's also perfectly acceptable to decide that their actions were unacceptable and that you deserve better. Trust your instincts and do what feels right for you. Conclusion. Being stood up on a date is an unpleasant experience, but it doesn't have to define your self-worth or future dating life. By acknowledging your feelings, making the most of your time, and setting healthy boundaries, you can turn an uncomfortable situation into a learning experience. Remember, everyone deserves to be treated with respect, and handling the situation with grace reflects your character, not the actions of the person who failed to show.